Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's Andy R and this is the Brotherhood of Men, a channel solely dedicated at getting you men out there the best outcome in your life. And I do that by giving you information, my opinion on certain subjects, and basically just giving you a different opinion. I might be agreeing with something that you've already figured out for yourself, but it's nice to get a little confirmation that what you're thinking isn't absolutely crazy. So what's today's subject? Well, you've probably seen it in the thumbnail, but today's subject, I want to talk about cougars. Now, this video was suggested by one of my subscribers. His name was Christopher Aubrey. He put down in the comments, and I will read it because it'll give you insight on where this video is going. So he put in the comments, "My ex broke up with me for a 23-year-old. She was 40 at the time. They've now been together 2 years, which means she's now 42, and are now engaged. I'd like to see a video on cougars and the young men that are getting into relationships with them." That's a really good and interesting subject, and I'm glad that you asked for it, Christopher. As I said before, if you're not already a member, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell notification. That way you don't miss out on future content. And I have got some great future content coming out for you guys. And I noticed from my analytics, I've now got 65 subscribers as of recording this video, which is amazing. That's 65 brothers out there who are supporting me and are getting something from the message that I'm giving out there. And you guys are brilliant. You guys are the top. Thanks so much. For anybody else watching this and isn't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Come on, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. That way you don't miss out. Christopher did exactly that thing. He wanted me to cover a subject. He suggested a subject, and I said in that video, if there's a subject that you think I will have a perspective on, would you like to see me cover, then suggest it in the comments. So if you've got a subject you'd like me to do, again, just like Christopher, suggest it in the comments. And if I think it's interesting enough to make a video about, and I think my audience, you guys out there, are going to get something out of, I'll cover it. And this is a good subject. Cougars. Why do older women, in this case a 42-year-old woman, get with a young man? I mean, on the man's point of view, let's go there first. The man's point of view is, it's simple. He's getting sex. He's getting that monkey franky-dink sex, the sort of thing that you only see on the Discovery Channel, on the Animal Channel. He's getting that. That's what attracts him. And men's brain chemistry does work in a certain way that we actually bond through sex. We get endorphins, oxytocins released in our brain that creates that bonding mechanism between men and women. But men are very able to differentiate between sex and love. We don't instantly think just because I've slept with somebody I'm now in love with them. That takes a bit more of a long-term relationship, but it's a thing called the orgasm bond. In other words, chemicals are released in a man's brain that bonds us to that woman, but not necessarily emotionally, just sexually. So for the man to go with an older woman, especially a woman who's in her 40s, he's actually there for the sex and resources. This is a flip of the female gold digger who's looking for an older man to provide her with resources. This is what a young man's doing. He's at an age where he's probably not got the financial accruement, or he's not got the credit score and that to be owning his own home, to probably even live comfortably in his own space. So he gets with an older woman who has those things. He's got his feet under the table, he's settled. And a bonus, he's getting regular sex. And she wants to prove to him that she's as good as a woman his age, so she will do all of the things that he probably hasn't experienced. The second part is the power dynamic in that relationship. The woman feels she's more in control of a young man. She can get away with more with a young man. All of those tired excuses that she had with, in your case, Christopher, you probably held her responsible for her actions. You called her out on her BS. A younger man isn't going to be doing that because he hasn't got the life experience, the world experience, to call her out on it. He also is going to realise before too long, you say in your comment, that she's engaged to him now. Well, unless he doesn't want children and has completely decided that going down this cul-de-sac of a biological dead end with this woman, because that's what it is. This is why women get hit with the wall so hard when they reach 30. It goes like this. The wall is there at 30. We say 30. The danger zone is 25 to 30. The wall is 30. And then 30 to 35 is, well, after 35, a woman gets into what's known as geriatric pregnancy. In other words, there's more problems in conceiving, more health issues whilst pregnant, and a higher likelihood of deformity within the child, within the fetus or the baby. So women know this, and that's why they hit that wall at 30 really hard. Now, when a woman gets into her 40s, she knows the likelihood of her actually getting pregnant are less. She also knows that there are more health risks with getting pregnant. Her periods probably become more erratic at that age. The young guy isn't thinking long term. He's thinking, what can I get now? What do I need to keep up? It probably wasn't his idea to get engaged. It was probably her idea, and she browbeat him into it. And him being a young man and her thinking that she's got the power in that relationship, she managed to talk him into getting engaged. Whether they actually get married or not is a whole different thing. But if you think that he's actually in love with her, he will probably tell her that. I'd be very surprised. I would think that he's there for what he can get out of it. Now, with the woman's side, this is hypergamy again. Now, most people think of hypergamy as a woman getting better than really her own reflection of what she is. So a woman wants a higher earning man. If she's a low earner, she wants a higher earning man. She wants somebody who's the fittest in species. Hypergamy, in its basis sense, is you wanting the best breeding partner that you can. You see it in the animal world, and it's exactly the same in the human world. Never forget that we are animals in our basest sense. So that's hypergamy. That's what most people think of hypergamy is. This is a different form of hypergamy, but still hypergamy. Let me explain. It goes like this. I'm with this guy who is the same age as me. He was better than me when I got with him. Hypergamy. I've achieved my goals. Now I'm getting older. I'm more financially secure. Therefore, hypergamy, I don't need the supply of that anymore. Secondly, if I divorce him, I can take some of his assets with me when I move away. Maybe the house, maybe part of his retirement, many things that she will try and take. As I said in a previous video, women start at 50% and men hope to reach 50% in a breakup. They hope to take away half. 9 times out of 10, a man takes away a lot less than half. Maybe he's still financially supporting her through alimony or some other form of help financially, because the courts have forced him to do that. So now hypergamy for her is no longer I need somebody to supply their resources for me. So her mind starts thinking, I want more sex, and if I want more sex, I have to go to somebody younger, somebody better. And that's where the hypergamy is, that she's looking for her sexual needs to be fulfilled, And to do that, she needs a younger, fitter, more active man who she can train up. Again, she feels the power dynamic that she's in control of the relationship. She can train this younger man for all those little things that her original man, in your case, Christopher, you, had to learn the hard way. What is it that tickled her fancy? You found all of this out through trial and error. Now she knows what tickles her fancy, because a lot of women actually don't until they experiment. And now she knows she can get somebody who's got a quicker recovery time, who's probably going to be able to have more stamina because he's younger and fitter and healthier lungs, etc, etc, etc. This isn't to put you down, Christopher, it's just age catches up with all of us. I know, I'm 56, and I can tell you my recovery time is a lot longer than it was when I was in my 20s. And I also have some experience with this subject, because when I was 21, I was in a sexual relationship with a woman who's 42. Well, actually, she was 41 at the time that we got together, and in that relationship, she turned 42. And I sent her 2 21st birthday cards thinking I was funny. She didn't see it that way herself. But we were only together 4 months, but I saw nothing long term in it. I was getting out of that. So when I say that's what a man's getting out of this, I was getting out of that relationship exactly what I wanted, which was great sex. And let me tell you, that woman was an animal in bed, an absolute freak, because she was trying to prove to me that she was better than a woman my age. And I can tell you, she wasn't. She wasn't better because she wasn't as fit, wasn't as supple, wasn't as tight, wasn't as put together. She had, and this is another part of hypergamy, is that women tend to do a lot of what they do when it's the cougar relationship to impress other women, her peers, women of her age. Also, to try and put one on the younger women as well, as if to say, hey, look, you young, fit, attractive women, I'm in my 40s and I can steal your man. To her, that is a massive, massive ego boost. And why wouldn't it be? Now, it seems like a double standard, because most people don't bat an eyelid if there's an older man with a younger woman. And when I say older and younger, I'm talking 10 plus years age gap. But you see, the reason an older man gets with a younger woman is for breeding purposes. He is choosing a younger woman because he wants progeny, he wants children, and a young woman is more likely to supply him with children and more likely to conceive quickly than a woman his own age. This is why the wall hits women so hard, because they know at 30 I've now got 5 years before I start slipping into geriatric pregnancy. This is why at around the age of 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, women are so desperate for now have that long-term relationship, to settle down, to get married. And this is why I keep telling you young guys out there who are watching this video, it gets easier. The older you get, the more choice you get. Anyway, that's off topic. I've done videos on that and I will do more about it. But this is specifically about the cougar relationship, as suggested by Christopher Aubrey. So, why do women get with younger men? Well, I've explained. They feel that they've got the control dynamic. They believe that they can train up the younger man to provide their sexual needs. They're no longer financially burdened like they were younger, so again they feel freed up and able to pursue their. But to do that, they need to get rid of the baggage. And the baggage in this case happens to be you. You were the baggage. She didn't want to be with you anymore because she knew you would call her out on all of her BS. You have that history with her. She knows what you are. Also, you're never ever, guys, going to be able to compete with the new and shiny. The new and shiny is always going to be that sparkling bauble that a woman looks at. It's the same when they go shopping. They've got thousands of shoes in their closet, but they'll go and buy a new pair because it's new and shiny. It's something else, a bag, a hairstyle, whatever it is. The new and shiny wins out the old and dull. You just happen to become the old and dull. And she's going to regret this decision later down the line, because so few cougar relationships actually work out long term. Because one, the young man, as he gets older, starts realizing that now he's got more experience, he knows more how to please a woman, and he realizes that being with this older woman, he's in a genetic dead end. He's got himself into a cul-de-sac. He's not going to have children with this woman. He, to do that, will either cheat on her, and if she finds out, she'll dump him, or he is going to have to break up with her and go with. Now, they might get married, because just like a gold digger who marries a man and thinks, if we get divorced, I will take half of his, I will take some of it, he is thinking that along the same lines. At some point, I might want children, which means I split up with her. But if I marry her now, and in a few years' time, we split up, I've had all my fun, and I can take some of her assets, just as she did with her last partner. So she's not realizing this is what's going on. She thinks she's in control. Also, she's able to brag to her peers. She's able to say to women of her age, yeah, I'm so attractive, I'm able to get a 23-year-old, and boy does he perform. Whether that's true or not, she's going to brag. She wants those bragging rights. She can also go to a younger woman at more of the man's age and say, yeah, you think you're hot stuff, but I'm the one who landed him. I'm able to take your man from you. And all she's doing is creating enmity in her peer group, because the older women look at her thinking, oh, this doesn't set a very good example to our men, because they might start looking at their women and going, that young guy you were talking to, what's going on there after you were talking to whatever her name is? They see what's going on there, and that starts to create a little bit of waves in their own relationship. The younger women are not going to accept her in their groups, because it's like, why would I accept you into a group when you've already proved that you're on the hunt for younger men that I want to get with? So she's not really helping her cause, but she doesn't see that. She only sees the positives, the plus, all going on it. I'm in control, I can train him up. It's like, all right, I have to supply some revenue to him so that he's happy and will stay in his place. Whereas the young man, he's just getting what he wants out of the relationship with no long-term plans, especially if he wants a relationship. Anyway, this was a subject that was suggested by Christopher Aubrey, and he suggested it down in the comments box. Is there a subject that you'd like me to give my opinion or my perspective on? I hope you got something from this, Christopher, and I hope that you have moved on with your relationship to bigger and better. If not, do so. Stop living in the past. That's where it belongs, in your rearview mirror, in the past. There's no need to revisit it. The past is a foreign country, as the saying goes, and you don't have a passport for it anymore. Leave it there. Leave it in your rearview mirror. She's an ex. She will probably start coming round and sniffing back at your door when he dumps her. Or when she dumps him, because she finds out that, hey, guess what? You're not that attractive. He has been banging the hell out of 3 or 4 women closer to his age or younger, because as he gets older, he realizes that his options for younger women and women his own age just increases, as it does for any of you young guys out there. If you feel that you can't move on emotionally in your life, if you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, if you don't see a glowing future for yourself, take this one thing away from you, with you, and that is, from an old head to a young head, take this away from you. The older you get, the easier it gets for you. Life improves with each year. So don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. And Christopher, when she comes sniffing round your door, like in that video I did previously when I was saying what's the opposite of hate, you know what to do. If you haven't watched that video already, get yourself a watch. You'll understand when you've watched that video that the opposite of love is not hate, but it's such a powerful weapon. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, you specifically, Christopher, and I hope the rest of you enjoyed this video. I thought it was a really interesting subject, and one that I actually had got some ideas on that I was going to do a little bit of research on, which I did. That's why I know that most cougar relationships do not end well. There is such a small percentage of women who actually end up in a long-term relationship. Tiny percentage. It truly is. They usually break down for mostly the reasons I've just outlined here. Anyway, my name's Andy R. This is the Brotherhood of Men. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please subscribe, hit the bell notification. You don't want to miss out on future content, because I've got so much future content that I've got for you guys. Also, give the video a like. That helps the algorithm, and it does help, and I do want to grow this channel. I want to grow it so much that we can start building a bigger, brighter, better brotherhood of men. So come on in and become a brother. Also, leave a comment. Is there anything you'd like me to cover? Is there something, and if I think it's a good enough subject, just like I did with this one, if I think it's a good enough subject and I've got something I can add to it and give you new information, I will make it. Anyway, I'm going for a cup of tea because I think I've definitely earned one. I hope you all stay safe, look after yourselves, because if you don't, who will? Anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye now.